Good morning. It's Thursday the 20th of March 2025 and this morning I'm in Clevedon. A short history of the marine lake Clevedon. Stinking corner. The idea of enclosing Salthouse Bay to create a marine lake was originally proposed and largely ridiculed around 1900. However, the continued popularity of saltwater bathing led local councillor Fred Nutting to revive the idea in the 1920s. What a glorious morning! Another glorious morning. And what a pretty place Clevedon is. I never came here much actually when I lived in the area. But yeah, it's a pretty town, lovely seafront again. Well, I would have first come to Clevedon in 1981, not long after we first moved to Portishead. So when I first walked the Portishead to Clevedon coast path, that's when I first came to Clevedon. I remember that walk just blew me away. And as you know, if you've been watching some of my recent films, I've done a bit of the Portishead to Clevedon coast path, and hopefully later today I'll do a bit more as we come back into Clevedon later on. Well, I'm heading away from the seafront for the time being, but we will see it later at the end of the walk. I'm just sort of heading inland now as I start my walk. Six Ways. Now, I've never been to Six Ways before. I remember seeing the signs for Six Ways in Clevedon. So that'll be it then, the roundabout. Six Ways, literally. I walked up Bellevue Road, and just after it curved to the left at Hill Road, I took a path straight ahead. Dial Hill via the zigzag path then. This is exciting. Now we're starting to get some great views now. Look at this. Isn't that wonderful? At the top of the zigzag, I crossed Dial Hill Road to take another footpath opposite. Okay, I wonder what I'm going to find when I climb up to the top of here. Never been up here before either. A trig point. So this is the trig point on the top of Dial Hill, which is 90 metres above sea level. And it's a bit hazy this morning at the moment, and the trees are in the way, but you get some views all the same. So down there through the trees, you can see Clevedon seafront and the marine lake. Lovely. You can't see much over there because of the trees, but I can just see on the skyline, and particularly over there where there's a gap in the trees, I can see the Mendip Hills. Okay, well I'll press on with a walk now then. Oh, it's very pleasant up here on Dial Hill. Well, it's funny, I've passed several people walking their dogs. Lovely spot to walk your dog, and not one of them would make eye contact with me. I sort of looked at them as they walked past, and I would have said good morning, but not one of them looked at me. They sort of was focused on the ground. They were just determined not to look at me. Whenever I pass people like that, I just feel like going, morning! Oh well, as I said before, there's not as funny as folk. People just like to get on with their own business, I suppose. Descending from Dial Hill, my onward walk took me along Edward Road. Well, I spoke too soon. As I was coming off Dial Hill back there, I passed another lady walking her dog, and she was very friendly. And not only did she have a really nice smile when she said good morning to me, she stopped and spoke to me for a bit. So there you go. It makes up for those other miserable buggers who decided to not make eye contact with me. But no, she was very friendly and just had a quick chat talking about how glorious the weather is today and enjoy your walk, she said to me. And I said, you too. So yeah, I want to see more people like that, please. Upon reaching the avenue, I crossed Castle Road to take a footpath leading through Clevedon Golf Club. So this is the fourth day of my using my new DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera. And it's a great little camera, it really is. I think I invested well in this. If only over a year ago I thought about this, but there you go. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But yeah, it's just the fact that I'm carrying this little camera in my right hand now, as opposed to my old Sony camcorder, which was quite heavy, along with the tripod. I mean, it really is a no-brainer. So I'm still getting used to how to use this camera. I mean, obviously it's early days and there's still a lot to learn, and I still keep pressing things that I shouldn't have pressed, so I don't know how that happens, and then I've got to find a way back to getting back to where I was. But yeah, I think overall this camera is going to be wonderful. In just under a mile, and beyond the golf club, the path descended to the village of Walton-in-Gordano. So I've arrived in Walton-in-Gordano, another pretty village in the Gordano Valley. Okay, so here I am at the church, and the obvious question is, am I going to be able to get inside? Let's go and have a look. Fingers crossed. Yes! I've been so unlucky with getting inside churches lately. It's lovely to be able to get inside this one. Okay, let's have a look round then. Another beautiful church. There's the organ. I'd like to have a go on that, but I'm not going to. Well, I told a little white lie just now, because just outside in the churchyard, there's somebody tidying the graves there, so I don't know whether he's actually the church warden or the vicar or whatever. I did actually say to him, is the church open? He said, oh yes. So I did ask for permission to come inside and take some pictures. So I knew that the church was open even before I tried to open that door. I just like to keep people in suspense when they're watching. Oh, this is lovely. The parish church of Walton-in-Gordano is dedicated to St. Paul. It was built in 1839 on the site of a previous church. Well, that was lovely. It was really nice to be able to get inside a church for a change. Okay, let's have a look around Walton-in-Gordano then. Emerging onto a lane, I walk down to where it meets the main Portishead to Clevedon road. Well, even though Walton-in-Gordano lies on the busy road between Portishead and Clevedon, it's still a pretty village. Got some lovely pretty cottages. Okay, well, I'm making my way slowly back towards the coast now. I retraced my steps up the lane and carried on past the church. Beyond the village, and in about half a mile, I turned off left at a footpath sign, which headed across fields towards the coast. I'm back on the coast path now then, fantastic. So I'm only a little bit further down from where I joined it on my last walk on the coast path, but rather than going back to Portishead this time, I'm going to go this way as I'm walking back to Clevedon. Okay, let's go. A lovely walk on the coast path. Beautiful. Yep, it's a lovely day again today. You can see right across the Severn Estuary into South Wales again. So I think we're more or less directly opposite Newport. So yeah, I think that's Newport over there. And you can just sort of make out hills in the background, so that's probably the start of the Brecon Beacons beyond. It was an absolutely beautiful walk along the coast path again, and then after about a mile and a quarter, I reached the outskirts of Clevedon. I'm back in Clevedon now then, so I'm not far from completing my walk. But just before I do finish the walk, I found this wonderfully strategically placed platform where I can admire the views. Just look at this. Isn't that fantastic? Beautiful. I really couldn't have asked for a better day today, really. Yeah, just fantastic. Well, I thought before I finish my walk, it would be really lovely to walk onto Clevedon Pier, because, strangely enough, I have never walked onto this pier before. During the early 1980s, when I was living in Portishead, Clevedon Pier wasn't open then. In fact, I think it was partially in a state of disrepair. But anyway, since my time of living in this area, Clevedon Pier has thankfully been restored and it's open for all the public to enjoy. And it's lovely. It's really nice. It cost me £5 to come onto the pier, which might seem a lot. However, once you buy a ticket, you can return and visit the pier as many times as you like during this year. So that'll be good. Obviously, living in Derbyshire, you might think, when am I going to come back? But I am planning to come and see Mum several more times throughout the year. So maybe I will come and visit Clevedon Pier again when I come down in future times throughout this year. Well, that's Clevedon Pier. It was very enjoyable having a walk onto it. Okay, I'll make my way back to my car now then. Well, that was really lovely. It's been a lovely walk, and it's been an added bonus going on to Clevedon Pier at the end. Absolutely fantastic. And I've got a gift from Clevedon to take home with me. Even better. Oh well, just got to walk down to the car park now, just down there, and I'll make my way back to Mum's. So, fantastic day.